Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Apple Turnover Gang. Again, we have Pesto Pete the Cowboy, we have Bechamel Star the Gambler, and we have Doc Hollandaise, the Frontier Doctor. The three of them are going into the mines. They are going to do, just for old time's sake, we're going to do the beginning mission for a few Darkstone more. We're going to go ahead with a medium deposit. That gives a nice kind of medium, length game in general. A few upkeep kind of details for everyone to know. So the first thing we have is I forgot that I did not get items, personal items for people. So that is going to be something that we're going to need to do here. And what we've got is we have for Pesto Pete, we have the ribbon. There. Gives him +1 agility, and at the end of each adventure he can remove 1 corruption from himself. So that's nice. Pretty handy. That puts his agility from 2 to a 3. We have for Bechamel Star, we have an ancient coin, which gives her +1 lore. Once per adventure, she can fully heal her health. Not bad. And then last, for Doc Hollandaise, this was pretty good draw. We have the rough skin gloves, so +1 strength, and once per turn he can reroll 1 melee to hit roll. So that actually will play in well with his melee and make him, a melee character. Other things to note that I am going to. I apologize. I don't have all my models from Wave 2 put together and not painted, and so probably I have a couple of them put together. So I did put a couple of the cards into the threat deck. But until I get more, I will add new ones as I get more put together, and then hopefully soonish, before things get too far along, I'll have all of the new enemies put together, and I will actually probably, at least for a couple episodes, pull out all the old ones, because there's a fair number of enemies total now. And so we can have a decent threat deck, with just the new monsters, the new enemies. But until I have more done, it just wouldn't be enough. So as far as variety and things like that. So right now, the few extra ones that I have put together, I've thrown their threat cards into the threat decks. But you may still see tentacles and void spiders and things like that showing up. Let's see. There are enough darkness cards that came with the various Wave 2 expansions that I am only going to play with the new darkness cards that I've got. I haven't even looked at them, so I don't know what they are. So that could be scary. And it could be difficult. I don't know how tough these darkness cards are. Similarly, from all the various packs, and expansion stuff, I have a huge encounter, and I'm talking huge number of mine encounter cards. It's a deck in and of itself, so I don't even need to use the existing encounter cards. These are simply all Wave 2 mine encounter cards. So I don't think I've seen any of these. This isn't even it doesn't have any of the the ones that I have been playing with. So these are all brand new. That's going to be interesting. I also haven't punched out, say, the Tridara and the Blasted Wastes, any of that stuff. Especially since I don't have the derelict ship. I don't have their enemies all done. So as far as other worlds, it's probably me. I like to try to avoid the other worlds most of the time, even though they've got better artifacts. At least to start out, because they are more dangerous. So I am not. I'm probably going to try to avoid if I can. If I do find another world, it will most likely be either Jargana or Targa. And you won't see. I haven't not added any of the map decks, even the mine side cards from the expansions that are in Wave 2. So none of those new map deck tiles are going to be in at least this first episode. I expect I can probably get a little bit more, a few more things organized to get them, get the tiles in for another adventure coming up, but just not this one. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Oh, the characters. So I don't have the hero models painted yet. But to make it easy for you to be able to tell who is who on here, red is going to be, and I apologize for anyone who's colorblind if there are issues with this, but red is the Doctor, green is Pesto Pete, makes sense, huh? And blue, the kind of blue, light blue base, is Bechamel. And that should hopefully help everybody, at least in a zoomed out state, be able to tell kind of who's who at this point from this kind of state. And if I zoom in, you'll obviously be able to see the figures better, and the minis will tell you a little bit. You'll be able to see the detail on the minis better when I get zoomed in, and so the colors won't be quite as necessary. But for now, that is what we'll do. So, and I apologize in advance, I am still getting used to the FAQ questions and answers, so I may mess up a few of those rules as well. I admit it has been a little bit of like a month or two since I've actually played any Brimstone. Been very busy with a bunch of things, so if my brain starts going to sleep and I start forgetting some things or do things wrong, I apologize. It happens. I know you guys will point them out to me, which is fine. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking the time to comment. So, too much talking from me, not related to actually playing the game. Let's go ahead and get going. So let us hold back the darkness, and Bechamel has the lantern. And as a reminder, Pete has a pistol, Bechamel has a pistol, Doc has his fists. He has no weapon as of yet, but he does have the doctor bag. Oh, and I should mention. So, Doc took dynamite as his side bag item to start, and his doctor's bag comes with 3 bandages. Pesto and Pete and Bechamel both took a whiskey as their starting side bag token. Alright, well, we start out with double 2s. So double 2s in the mine is Dark Dread. Draw a Growing Dread card and add it to the stack. Boom. Already not starting off well. Going through my cards, I don't think we got... I don't know that I've seen any. I haven't unpacked everything yet. I didn't see any Growing Dread cards. So this is still the same Growing Dread stack. Although it's possible that I might have... when I first opened some stuff, because I opened some stuff and then spent some time and then opened some more stuff, that I might have already added a few. There weren't very many Growing Dread cards, if there were any at all. Anyway, Dark Dread, so we added the Growing Dread stack. Oh, and to remind you, For number of heroes, with 3 heroes, we are drawing medium threats, and we get a 1 revive token. And for a few Darkstone more. So the mission is, we want to find 3 clue icons, and then when we found that, we found the deposit we're looking for, then we're going to have an epic threat. So that'll be exciting and scary at the same time, because again, we have nothing. Alright, and initiatives. So initiatives for these characters are 5, 4, 3. So we start with Bechamel at 5, then Doc will be 4, and then Pete will be a 3. So that should make things fairly easy. So we start with Bechamel, and she is going to roll to move. She rolls a 3, so she will go 1, 2, 3. She will attempt to scavenge. And she gets 1 scavenge card. Alright, so she has scavenged that tile. Let's see what we get. Hopefully get a gear card. Be nice to get an early weapon that we can give Doc. And we get a Emerging Darkness. Draw a darkness card. Well, that is unfortunate. Let's see what these new darkness cards go. So, Winds of Change. Every hero immediately takes 2 wounds, ignoring defense, and 1 corruption hit for each mutation they have. So, now, this would be a question. Is that 2 wounds, and then a corruption hit for each... Are they 2 separate things? 2 wounds, and then 1 corruption for each mutation, or is it 2 wounds and a corruption for each mutation? I think it's separate. I think that it's the corruption hit is only applied for each mutation, and then it's just 2 wounds. So that is how I'm going to play it. So 2 wounds, ignoring defense. So not much we can do about those. 2 there and 2 there. So not starting off all that great. And then nobody has any mutations. So, blah. Alright. So Doc. So Doc gets to move. Doc moves 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, remember he's got the battlefield experience skill, that's his starting skill, where he can move through other models and automatically pass escape tests. So that's why he can move through Bechamel. And then Pete. Pete will move to 1, 2. That's fine. They work. Now let's hold back the darkness again. A 7. That is good enough at this point, thank goodness. Bechamel rolls to move. She gets a 5. Interesting. Alright, well, she's going to go ahead and look through. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we will see what's on the other side, and that is a corrosive room. Alright, so that goes on like that. We draw a exploration token. Now we go with Doc. So Doc rolls to move. 2, that's fine. He's going to go 1, 2. And then Pete goes 1. Boom, and gets a grit. Don't like that he's so far back, but getting that extra grit will be good, especially since he can use grit to hit additional enemies. So, let's see what we get here. We get 1 exit, which is, unfortunately, a gate, and an encounter. And it is one of our 3 clue tokens. Okay, based on the map, the gate is to the left here. That makes both of these dead ends. Alright, and let's see what the encounter is. The encounter is a drone hive. So it is encounter environment terror. Rows of savage looking hooks line the ceiling here. From most of them hang a slumped, seemingly lifeless body draped in ragged looking cloth, clanking and swaying in the drafty air. Each hair on the map tile takes 2 horror hits at the start of their activation each turn. Then also roll a d6. Electroshock, they're waking up. Flesh drones drop from their hooks to attack. Ambushed attack by flesh drones, or dormant drones, no effect, and it remains in play. So, we roll 1d6 to see what happens. Let us see what happens here. A 6. So, dormant drones, nothing else happens. But we will be taking 2 horror hits each turn we are here. So that sucks. That sucks. Alright. Well, it's time to hold back the darkness, folks. That was it for that turn. A 10 will succeed. So, we need to start. Bechamel, she is going to take 2 horror hits. Alright, she has a 4+ willpower. Blocks 1, so she takes 1 point of sanity damage. And then she rolls to move. She gets a 6. Nice. So she will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to look through. Let's see what that other world is. Okay, and the other world is Targa. So again, Targa. Snow, so rolls of 1 do a wound with no defense. And you get to recover a grit on the move roll of 1 or 2. That is what Target does. The downside of this, obviously, is that where you don't get to see what the new mine encounters are. And we've got that big, huge stack of it. Well, hopefully we can get back into the regular mines. So we will have to see what that does. I'll make sure that's not getting too far off. All right. So we looked through. What do we find here? We find an ancient street. Okay. Stuff around, make sure. Does that look like? Alright, looks like you guys can see that. Alright, and that's all Bechamel can do. So let's start with Doc. Doc has to make 2 horror. He's got a 3+ power though. He makes both of them. Excellent. And then he moves. He gets to move 5. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does he go in? I don't think he goes in. In fact, oops, speaking of which, I should put an exploration code. We need to let Pete catch up. Even though that does mean he's going to make another horror save. Alright. So then Pete does not have to make a horror check. Ooh, actually, Doc can scavenge. Take that back. Doc is going to attempt to scavenge. Bechamel probably should have as well, but Doc gets 2 scavenge cards. Ooh, again, cross your fingers, folks. Let's try to get Doc some gear. Let's get him some gear. Alright. First card is nothing here. Oh, unfortunately. Next one is going to be nothing here. The stupid scavenge cards. I hate them. I hate them. Alright, poor Doc. That's a little bit of experience for him, though. And no, I am not putting the scavenge tokens down. I think we can remember. Alright, so Pete. Lagging way back. Oh, good, he gets a 5. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can go. Looks like that corner is not cut off, so you can't go diagonal. But so 1, 2, 3, 4. A 3 would make it useless. A 2 would help, and a 4 would help. I'm trying to decide if he should use a grit. And you know what? I think he will use a grit. And then he's going to add a die of movement, and he gets a 4, which is perfect. Oh, except he can't move through people. Never mind. Duh. Let's change that back. Again. Alright, he can't move through them, so no point in him moving through this turn. He can take one turn of making horror checks. So let's hold back the darkness, because that is everything in this place. Other than the droning of the hives. Ooh, double 4s. Double 4s, I think it's a cave-in. Yeah, falling rubble. Each hero takes d6 hits. Alright, so we'll go in order. So Bechamel is going to take 3 hits. She gets her defense. She blocks 2, so she takes 1 wound. Alright, Doc takes 4 hits. He only has a 5+ defense. Still blocks 2, so he only takes 2 wounds. That's actually pretty good. And then Pete. Pete takes 1 hit, which he saves. Nice. Okay. So let us hold back the darkness for an 11. That will hold back the darkness. And Bechamel will move in. So she rolls to move. She gets a 5. So 1. You know what? She's good at 1. I don't really want to get too far in, but we do want to make sure we get off the tile that is there. All right. We can't scavenge there. So Doc gets to roll to move. She might have wanted to move 2 in case Doc only rolled a 1 for movement, but that's fine. Doc moved plenty fine, so 1, 2. He's going to hang out there. 3, let's go 2. Pete's got a little bit more health than Bechamel. And, oh, I need to remember, they both have to take their horror checks. So Bechamel takes 1 more sanity damage. And Doc takes 1 more sanity damage. Or one sanity damage since he saved both. Alright, and then Pete, his horror checks, so he takes 1 point of sanity damage. And then he rolls to move. Ooh, and he gets a 2. So now he's going to spend his grit to add another die, which is 2 is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is perfect. Alright, and let's see what's on this exploration token. There's 1 exit. I don't know if you guys can see that. I should probably bring it up. There's 1 exit and 2 encounters. And that is not a clue token. So, let's see where the exit is. And the exit is going to be direction 4, which is going to be straight ahead. Okay, so we put 1 there and 1 there. Excellent. Now 2 target plateau encounters. So the first one is a scream beyond time. An alien scream of agony and fear echoes through your mind as you stagger backwards, clutching your head, visions of the doom that came to Targa flashing before your eyes. Okay, one hero has to make a spirit test. If successful, gain 10 experience for every 4+ rolled. If failed, take d6 horror hits. Then a random hero has to make a lore 5+ test. Okay. So who's got the best spirit? Boy, they all suck at spirit. I did not know. The gambler has a 1, the doctor has a 2, and the cowboy has a 1. Well, but you also take d6 horror hits, and the doc has the best willpower, so he will go ahead and do it. So he's got 2 dice, needing a 4+. That, wow, double 6s, and they stacked on top of each other. That says something right there. Alright, so he succeeded. Actually, I take that back. Everybody has to make a Spirit 4+ test. Because it's got, I don't know if you guys can see that. There you go. Real close. It's got that, like, little group of people. Even though it's only got the one person highlighted, it's actually got a group of people there. So that means everybody has to take one. So Bechamel fails, and Pete fails. So, D6 horror hits for Bechamel is 1, which she fails, so she's going to take 1 more point of sanity damage. It's slowly adding up. Pete gets 3, and he takes 1 more sanity damage. Alright. Then, who's got the best lore? Bechamel has a 3. Well, I gotta remember she's got her fortune points too, which she can use to re-roll or modify a roll, potentially. I'll remember that. But Pete, let's see, sorry, who has the best lore? Pete has 3 lore, Doc has 3 lore, Bechamel has 3 lore. And it doesn't give any bonus, like there's no secondary test or something, so it doesn't really matter. Let's have Doc do it. So he's got 3 dice. For each 5+ rolled, he can choose a Darkness, Encounter, or Growing Dread card currently in play and discard it. Got 1. So we're going to get rid of this, the 1 Growing Dread card we've got in their stack there. Don't really care about that card, and we don't have a Darkness card in play. So the second encounter is Look Out! They are attacked by an otherworld threat native to Targa. Alright, so what are they attacked by? Let's grab the otherworld threat deck and see. They are attacked by a damaged guardian. Ooh. Alright, hold on, folks. Alright. So he starts back here. Alright, we can zoom in just a smidge. Since we're fighting right here. Alright, Damaged Guardian. So he already starts with 15 wounds on him at 3 to 4 players. He's got a total of 40 health in the non-brutal side. Initiative of 2, so all the heroes will get to go first. They will be taking terror tests. He'll be able to shoot at them with a laser. A free-ranged attack. Alright. So let us hold back to darkness. A 5 will fail, so that is the first one that we have actually failed as far as holding back the darkness and moving the darkness, moving the track up. And we start with Bechamel. Alright. Well, Bechamel, what are you going to do? got a range of 6. He's got a move of 6. It's not really going to make a big difference. She gets to roll the move. She gets a 5. She also needs to make her 2 terror. She fails 1, so it's going to be 1 more point of sanity. Alright. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to have to move up. She's going to have to move up by 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. She doesn't move up by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So max range for the pistol. And then she'll go ahead and take a couple shots. So things we need to remember. Her to hit rolls of 6 or better do +1 damage. And she's got fortune, which lets her spend a fortune to reroll any single die just rolled, even if it's already been re-rolled. But it may not target a die that's specifically excluded from using grid on it, such as holding back the darkness. She also has tip the scales for a fortune. She can move any die just rolled, make a luck test, and for each 5+ she gets on the luck test, she can shift the result of that up or down one. Alright, so 2 dice. Yep. Yeah, that's all it is. She's a 4+ for ranged. Well, that's pretty horrible. So we'll spend a fortune. She's got a grid as well, but spend a fortune to re-roll the 1. Actually, you might as well spend a grid. No, she'll spend a fortune because she's at her max. That's pretty horrible. Yeah, she's. I don't want to blow everything on this first encounter. We also need to start. We do have a revive token, so we'll just wait. So Doc, terror test, takes 1 point of sanity damage, and then he will roll to move. A 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is not enough for him to do anything. You know what? He's going to spend a grit to get that extra movement there so he can actually make a melee attack. I think that's worth it. That's kind of like letting him re-roll 2 dice, 2 misses. And he does have the gloves, which lets him re-roll 1 hit. So, swinging! Alright, he does get 1 free roll, so he's a 4+ to hit, so there's 1 critical. And then he'll use his glove reroll for the gloves, which gets a regular hit. Nice. Nice, go Doc. Alright. So. Oh, and at the start of the fight, he actually recovers a grit because of the battlefield experience. So he actually has an extra grit. I had completely spaced on that. I got to remember, got to get used to these new character abilities. But there you go. So he's got 1 critical and 1 non. So the critical hit. So they've got a defense of 4. And critical hits only reduce the defense to 2. So here's the critical hit. So it's a defense of 2. So it does 3. So that's 1 wound. Okay. Yeah, this could be really hard. Really difficult as a starting enemy, starting fight. But we'll see how it goes. And then the non-critical. Bounces, does nothing. Alright, and then Pete. His terror fails both. That gives him 2 sanity points. Then he rolls to move. So he gets to move 2, 1. He just to move 1, that's close enough. And then he will get shots with his pistol. And you know what? Once per fight, he's actually going to use his lasso. Once per fight, anytime choose an enemy within range 5. Also, range 5. So he'll actually move one closer. And line of sight to rope with the lasso. While roped, that enemy may not move and is -1 combat and -1 defense. So, perfect. Alright, Mr. Guardian has been lassoed. So, also for the lasso, at the start of each of that enemy's activations, he makes a strength 5+ test to keep it roped. 6+ if large, or 6+ with two successes if extra large or bigger. Okay. Enemies with the ability to move without the models, which he does not. So, if passed, the enemy is roped. If failed, it is released. Alright, so this is going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to keep him lassoed, but you know, that's it's going to be worth it. Oh, actually, it's at any time he can do that. So he should actually do it after the Guardian's activation, right? So that he doesn't get a free breakout. So let's take the shots. Two pistol shots. One hit, not a critical. Not gonna spend his grit, so one non-critical hit, bounces, does nothing. Yeah, this is gonna be really rough. All right, so the Guardian gets to go. So he activates once per fight at any time. Now we're gonna lasso him. That may be fudging things a little, because he activated, but he hasn't done anything. But hey, let's we need all the help we can get right now at this point. So this is what they do at the start of their. In fact, actually, I can let them shoot first because the lasso doesn't affect his shooting. So. Start of its activation makes a free range attack at a random hero. So, 1, 2, Shamel, 3, 4, Doc, 5, 6, Pete. Doc wants to shoot at Doc. Okay? 2 shots. 4+. 1 hit, which is a crit. Or 6 doesn't really do. Doesn't do much for that though. Does a peril dice of damage. 3 points of damage, so Doc gets 3. Oh, sorry. He gets his defense against it, which fails. Now he takes 3 points of damage. Okay. So now he's lassoed. So now the Guardian cannot move. So the Guardian will attack Doc. He is -1 combat. So normally he's 4. He said he's only 3. But he's -1 combat for every 10 full wounds on it. So he's actually -1 more combat because he has 16 wounds. So he's actually going to get 2 dice because of the lasso. So that is nice. And he hits on 4+, so those are 2 misses on Doc. Nice. Whew, alright, rough first turn. Let's hold back the darkness. A 5 will fail. And that gets us a darkness card, which says, always watching. See that? So all alien enemies are +1 initiative and +1 damage on ranged attacks remains in play. He is a robot, so he is not affected by that, but that would be good to know if we run into some aliens. Bechamel, alright. So, terror hits. Takes one more point of sanity damage. That puts her up to 5. Yeah, I think we're going to be too beat up, folks. By the end of this fight, we're going to use up everything. But we do have the 1 revive. I do have to remember that. So then Bechamel rolls to move. We get a grit. We get a grit. Yay! So a grit, and she gets a fortune. And we used 1, so because her high roller lets her recover a grit when she recover a fortune when she recovers a grit. Oh, you know, and oh no, Bechamel missed. Right. So Bechamel gets a shoot. She's not going to move. That looks pretty good right there. 2 hits. Okay, so this is what I want to do. Okay, she's going to spend a fortune because we want to use tip the scales. So we're going to tip the scales. I want to tip the scales on this to make it a 6. Definitely, right? And then potentially, I might want to do the same thing for that one. But so it's a luck test. She's got three dice for a luck. Needs at least 1 5 or better. Nice. So she gets 2. Well, I only need 1. So boom. That one's a 6. The question is, do I hope for 2 successes on the other one? I don't think so. And I also, yeah, you have to choose the die, then make the luck test. So, and I don't think I need to re-roll that because it is a hit. So, let's do the non-critical first. So the damage from this one is a 6. So that's 2 more wounds. Nice. That'll be helpful. And now this one is +1. And he's only got 2 defense. So that's a 6 minus 2. That is 4 more wounds. Boom. So that drops him down. He's at 22 health right now. Alright. Nice. Good going. Good going, Bechamel. Alright. Doc. Terror. And it takes 1 more point of sanity damage. And then he will melee for all that he is worth. Okay, there's a hit. He's going to use his gloves to reroll this one. Ooh, gets a critical. Excellent. Excellent. So, the damage for the critical, -2, is 3. Nice. So that puts them up to an even 25 wounds on him. And then the non-criticals, that's -4, bounces, does nothing. Alright. Pete. Terror. Saves both. Too bad that wasn't a shooting roll. Alright. Pete's going to shoot again. And that's going to miss. Let's use a grit to re-roll one of these. There's a hit and a crit. So -2. Oh, does nothing. No. That grit wasted, essentially. And the doc is actually going to use one of his bandages to heal his wounds. And so he heals himself for 4. Alright. What do we have left? The Guardian. So the Guardian. So first of all, we need to make so Pete has to make a strength test. You need a 6+ with 2 successes. Okay, he's got a strength of 4. He needs 2 6s to keep the Guardian lassoed. No, got 1, and he used his grit, so not quite enough. So it's really hard for him to keep big enemies, really big enemies, lassoed. But hey, it helped for 1 turn. All right, so targeting a random enemy, random hero. So he's going to shoot at Bechamel. So 2 dice, hitting on 4s, miss. Excellent. Excellent, we like that. And then, so he's going to change his target each turn. But he is -2 combat because we did push him over that 20 hit point threshold. So, who's he going to go after? I'm trying to remember if changing targets means you exclude the person you were attacking before, or if it just simply means he's going to attack a random one each turn. And I believe it's a random one each turn. So he's going to go for Bechamel. So it didn't really matter. So he moves 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or well, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because that is as far as he can go. Boom. And then he's got 2 melee attacks. One of which hits. Okay, can she dodge it? 4+ defense. She does not. And it does 4 points of damage. Alright. Ooh, next turn. Let's hold back the darkness. A 6 will not hold back the darkness. But it puts us up to 3. We're doing okay. Bechamel. Bechamel, Terror. Takes 1 more point of sanity. It's creeping up. She's at 6 of 10. She's going to need to drink her whiskey, I think. In fact, we'll go ahead and do that. She's going to drink her whiskey. Recovers all 6. Excellent. That was what we needed. She is at 7 of 10 for health. She will need some healing from someone. Doc. She will attempt to escape. Roll the move. Okay, and then she'll attempt to escape. It's a 2+. He's not very hard to escape from. She's going to back up there. Alright, and then she's going to shoot. Okay, she'll spend her grit to reroll this. Didn't help. Could spend a fortune to reroll it, and you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Nice! 2 6s. Bechamel. Lots of rerolls there. Alright, so 2 critical hits. So these are both basically -1 on each die. Ah, really? Excuse me. You know what? She's going to spend a fortune. Let's reroll this 1. No. No. No, really. Oh my goodness. She was doing so well, and that happened. Okay, well, I don't know what to say to that. I'm just flabbergasted. So, Doc. Terror. He's good. Roll the move. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. He will use bandages on Bechamel. heals 1. Okay. And then he will melee. Alright, so double criticals. -2 on each die. No. Oh, sorry, yeah, -2 on each die. It does 1 point. He does have a grit. You know what? Let's reroll this. There we go. So, -2 on each die. So that's 1. And that is 4. So that was 5 wounds. Alright. 10, 20, 30. So we're at 30 of 40 health. And that's Doc's turn. So, Pete. Alright, takes 1 more sanity. So he's up to 5 of 12. He will roll to move. Gets 4 points. He's going to try to escape. He does. Not going very far, though. And then he will shoot with his pistol. Alright, so the 5 will hit. He has no grit or anything, so hit, -4 on the die. Does 1 more point of damage. Alright. Alright, and the Targa Guardian. Alright, so who is he going to shoot at? Bechamel again. Hits once. She gets her defense. She defends against it. She dodges it. Nice. Alright, and then who is he going to melee attack? 4. He is going for Doc. So he's going to kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, and come around this way. Because he wasn't already melee attacking. But he has -3 dice, so he's only getting 1 combat die. That is still a hit. Can Doc dodge it? He cannot. That is going to be 4 wounds on the good doctor. Okay, she's back up to 7. Alright. Hold back the darkness. 12. Excellent. So, a 12 is Stubborn Resolve. Each hero can immediately heal a d6 wounds or sanity or recover a grit. That is a good question. You know what? I think they're all going to recover a grit. Yeah. And that gets a fortune point back for Bechamel. As nice as it is, when we catch our breath at the end, we'll be able to recover a little bit of hit points. But they may not necessarily be able to recover a grit. So, well, the Doc might want to heal, because at the start of every fight, he gets a grit anyway. So you know what? Doc's going to, and he's wounded, and so it might be better to use his bandages on somebody else. So he's actually going to try to heal a d6. He heals 6. Good. He's going to heal 6 wounds. He had 7, so we'll do that. All right. Bechamel. Terror. So she's going to take 1 more sanity, but she'd used her whiskey and felt much better after the slug of whiskey that she downed super quick. Roll to move. Okay. It doesn't really matter if she backs up or not. So she's just going to go ahead and shoot with the pistol. Nice. You know what? She's going to spend her luck, or her fortune point, to make a luck test. Let's try to manipulate that 5 into a 6. 5 plus. Got it. Just needed 1. Boom. 2 6s. Perfect. So each 6 does +1 damage. They are also both criticals. So that means he's essentially -1 damage to each of these dice. So a 3 and a 1 is 4 more wounds. Pops him up to 35. So only 5 more wounds need to be done to him. Alright, so the doc takes 1 point of sanity. Let's roll for his movement. 6 doesn't really help much. And then he will smack away with his hands. Karate chop. 2 hits. Not criticals, but they are 2 hits. That's always good. Let's see, damage for -4 does nothing. He will use one of his bandages to try to heal on Bechamel. Heals 3 because she had 6 wounds. So it puts her down to 4. Or sorry, yeah, 4 wounds. Yeah, 3 wounds. She had 6 wounds. Healed 3. All right, bah. All right. Well, and that's all he can do. So Pete takes 1 more point of sanity. That puts him at 6. So I think the first thing he's going to do is he's going to chug down his whiskey. Oh, only does 1. All right, and then he's going to shoot. He'll spend his grit to reroll this one. Nice. All right. So the critical hit, -2. No grit. All right, and then -4 on this one. Does 2 wounds. Sort of makes up for it, I guess. So three wounds left on this sucker. But not quite enough. Couldn't quite do it. Couldn't quite do it. All right. So, who is he going to target with his laser? He's going to target Doc with his laser. 2 attacks, 1 hit. Can Doc dodge it? He cannot. Does 3 points of damage. Alright. Who's he going to try to splat? 4. He's going to attack Doc again. He only gets 1 die though. And that misses. Alright. Hold back the darkness. 6, 7, 8, 9. That will hold back the darkness. Good. Alright, Bechamel saves both of her terror hits. And then she gets to shoot. Oh, she's going to spend a grit. Let's re-roll these hits. Oops, in the box. 2 hits. Another one a critical, but hey, 2 hits from none. Alright, -4 on each die. Bounce, bounce. It's worth a shot, though. Yeah, she has no fortune. Doc takes 2 sanity. Ouch. It puts him up to 6. Okay. And then he will melee. Getting 1 hit. Does nothing. Pete takes 2 points of sanity. That's 7 of his 12. Rolled to move. And he gets a grit. In fact, I don't know if I rolled to move for the Doc. Oh, and he gets a grit. I won't use it, but... Alright. And then Pete'll shoot. 1 hit. Bounces. We were doing well, but not well enough. Alright, so the Guardian was going to shoot Pete this time. 1 hit. Pete attempts to dodge, and he does. Alright, and then the Guardian's going to swing at Doc with 1 die and misses. Alright, let's hold back the darkness. Another turn. 5 will fail. That gets us another darkness card, which is called Unknown Frontier. Whenever the hero posse marker enters the blood splatter space on the depth track, every hero currently in an otherworld takes